I've traced the entire history of Epstein's interaction with different developers and compromised networks that he tried to infiltrate with Peter Thiel in 2011 and beyond.
To try to pull Bitcoin back into the fold?
Yes. Yeah. There were many ops, and I would almost like to do a whole podcast on those different ops in Bitcoin because I was there and I saw them all. And I saw what Brock Pierce tried to do.
What did Brock Pierce try to do?
Well, Brock Pierce, I think, was Epstein's guy in the digital currency space. And he tried to persuade me that Satoshi Nakamoto was Dr. Craig Wright, who's the guy that recently got a year in prison, and I think, not sure if you heard it, for pretending to be Satoshi. And he ended up being an essential part of creating an alternative version of Bitcoin. Brock Pierce also was the co-founder of a stablecoin called Tether. And Tether was later sold to a company called Bitfinex that I had invested in. That stablecoin Tether was the gateway drug for central bank digital currencies. And when Bitcoin went open source, there were several attempts to create alternative versions and fork it off and confuse the community into going to a more centralized version of Bitcoin called Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision. And I can trace back all the conversations, and the developer that said that had all the credibility, Satoshi handed the key, the development over to Gavin Andreessen. It was Gavin Andreessen that met with Dr. Craig Wright and said, this guy's cryptographically proven to me that he is Satoshi. And that was a lie. He hadn't. I can go through all the different people that led to these crypto market and VC funding. The crypto market, the stablecoin market, the central bank digital currency market is all a psyop. Venture capital funded, complete wealth extraction vehicle, complete degenerate gambling, ushering in a vital key by David Sachs, who was introducing stablecoin policies and Genius Act and all the programmable money that turns stablecoins into programmable police and surveillance grids in the Bank Secrecy Act and Genius Act and Patriot Act and Clarity Act now. They want you doing everything but using Bitcoin. And there were several operations, Operation Choke Point 2.0, various other things, which we could go through all of them in a different time if this is interesting. There's too much to cover. To take us to the stablecoin alternative crypto gambling world. But Bitcoin in self-custody still exists where there's 25,000 nodes. There's a distributed supercomputer. In fact, interestingly, Iran is the largest sovereign Bitcoin miner in the world, powered by nuclear energy, which was always what this was about. It was never a nuclear weapon. It was always nuclear energy. Everything's about energy. And we're resetting the world based upon energy right now. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to get you to own Bitcoin in a treasury company with Michael Saylor. They're trying to get you to own Bitcoin with BlackRock in an ETF. They're trying to get you to borrow against your Bitcoin through Cantor Fitzgerald and Howard Lutnick connected to the Epstein network. They're trying to get you to not own Bitcoin, to own crypto, to use stable coins, to use central bank digital currencies, to put it in a Wall Street wrapper, to put it in a debt wrapper, because the last thing they want is for you to own Bitcoin in self-custody.